Hello, buddy.
Hey, hey, hey.
All right. All right. I guess I just won't be able to watch the Rumble part of it from my end because it's like it won't. Apparently, it's like I don't know if there's some kind of hitch going on with Rumble or what have you, but
Okay, I can bring up the Rumble feed and get, just trying to find you all. Oh, there we go. Oh, you got your update followers there. Cool.
mm-hmm.
Okay, let's pop out chat. There we go.
What were you gonna put the link in the private chat to see if maybe I can get in from that way or something like that?
No, I popped out the chat for Rumble. That way I can see if anybody comments on it in it.
Mm-hmm.
I have two things. That way, if anybody comments, I can actually see and let you know if anybody says over anything over Rumble. Uh, as for it seems to be going good. I'll hit a like there for you. Let's share on.
There we go. Well, now it seems to be working at least for me, I guess. All right, so there we go with that. Okay. Alrighty
Okay,
then.
there we
Oh,
go. I shared, liked all that on Rumble as well, and I have
all
it
right.
up in the
So a
chat.
friendly
So
reminder.
if
Yeah. Hmm. Okay, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
oh, just saying, I have the chat up if anybody comes into the live stream there.
Yeah.
So makes a comment.
All right. A friendly reminder to everybody. Of course, if you guys on both my Rumble and YouTube, if you haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. With that being said, before we actually get into what we're going to be going over tonight, I'm going to hand it off to my co-host for the evening, Mr. Rick Piper. Let him introduce himself, promote any projects he's doing, his YouTube channel. Rick, you know the shtick, right?
Yeah. Well, as it says on the little ticker tape thing there, for me, anyways, I am Rick Piper, creator of the Canadian Shield, founder and creator of Quality Comics, which has a whole bunch of other characters too. But right now, we are focused on Canadian Shield because he has a campaign live over on Kickstarter. So if anybody wants to go over there and check it out and maybe subscribe, either share it out or maybe support it. Um, so we will hopefully get funded over there. We are funded from my comics already, but we want to try and get funded on Kickstarter because we want to build our brand. And of course, people can check out my channel here on YouTube. And I do have a channel over on Rumble as well called Cross Comics. Unfortunately, not a lot of content gets put on Rumble at the moment. It used to go directly over a lot of stuff. It doesn't anymore. I don't know why. I think they've changed things over on Rumble, but it is what it is. Hopefully soon I will be doing live stream on my video. So there is my spiel.
All right. Well, Rick, if you can continue talking in the chat for a moment, I need to step away from the computer for a moment. When I come back, we'll go over what's on tap for tonight for everybody. But I do need to step away for a moment, so
Yeah,
I'll be
no
right back.
Well, I guess it gives me a little bit more time to toot my horn. Ha ha! What shall I do? Well, over my channel, you can see usually see me lately coloring up Canadian Shield 3. That's what I've been doing mainly, and because I want to get it done. I want to be able to get it out in time for when I said for backers. I believe in trying to be good that way for people because people want to back people that they know are reliable. That is something I definitely am, or I try to be. I have a love of comics. I got them when I was small. So, yeah. I'm not sure what else to say.
All right, I'm back now. Thanks for
Okay.
holding the fort there for a moment, Rick. All
Oh,
right.
no problem at all.
All right. So with that being said, okay, so now that I'm back, let's talk about what we're going to be going over tonight. So tonight we're going to be going over comics that went on sale from Quality Comics from June of 1940.
So we're going to be tapping into some quality.
Hmm.
Or hopefully, anyways.
Focusing, of course, in on Feature Funnies Volume 1, number 35, Crack Comics Volume 1, number 4, and Smash Comics number 3. Now, of course, before we actually do get into the actual reading of said comics, we got a little bit of an introduction because in the 13th issue of Smash Comics, there was a debut of Magno the Magnetic Man. So we're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about him real quick. Then we'll get into the reading. At least show everybody who, or at least talk a little bit about who he is. And we'll get into the reading of that in a moment here, as I find it. And there we go. Now, of course, I'm just doing this off of the Wikipedia page, of course. I know we don't have a picture. Sometimes the Wikipedia pages have more info than and some of the off wiki sites we've seen. But anyways, Magno the Magnetic Man appeared in Quality Comics from 1940 to 1956. The character was created by Paul Gustafson. His first appearance was in Smash Comics number 13, cover date August 1940. He was one of the characters that were purchased by DC Comics when Quality Comics sold their assets. However, the copyright on these comics expired before that, making them public domain. Tom Dalton was a lineman for an electric company until he was shocked and killed by 10,000 volts of electricity. He was brought back to life by a co-worker who used 10,000 DC volts of of electricity, who used 10,000 AC volts. Tom Dalton became Magno. He was powered by the very electricity that saved his life, and he used it to fight crime with his magnetic and electrical abilities. So basically, kind of this was pre-Magneto.
Yeah, and well, just his name makes him sound a little bit like Magneto. I was going to mention something like that.
Yeah. He sometimes ran out of power and had to recharge himself by touching exposed wires. He was featured in Smash Comics until issue number 21, April 1941. He then moved to two Ace magazines, Super Mystery Volume 1, number 1 to Volume 6, number 4, July 1940 to February 1947, 34 issues, and to 4 favorites from issues number 1 to 26, September 1941 to November 1946. In his fourth story, Magno was joined by a sidekick, Davy, a young man with the powers of magnetic attraction and repulsion. Davy was the little brother of a female private eye, Carol Landis. Davy's powers had no origin in particular. Magno and Davy became partners, as we saw in many of the early comics as well, and even going into the Silver Age as well, where you'd have a lot of heroes taking up sidekicks.
Yeah.
Let's see. And worked for the government on secret missions. According to Jess Nevin, the Encyclopedia of Golden Age Superheroes, quote, Magno and Davy take on a variety of foes: human sacrificing Aztec cultists, the four-armed fanged Yellow Peril, Professor Octopus, fanged Yellow Peril Professor Octopus.
Professor Octopus? Geez, I wonder if that's a precursor to Doc Ock.
Inspired another villain?
Yeah, Doc Ock.
Yeah. And Magno and Davy's recurring foe, the Clown, who works out of a traveling circus and uses hyper intelligent trained rats to carry out his crimes. Magno was briefly revived in 1984 for 2 issues of All-Star Squadron, number 31 and 32, March-April 1984. In this story, Magno is contacted by Uncle Sam hours before the attack on Pearl Harbor to join the Freedom Fighters and defend the base. Magno accepts and dies while fighting the Japanese along with the other members of the Freedom Fighters. While most of the other members are later revealed to have survived, Magno is not. He's also seen in Secret Origins Volume 2, number 26, May 1988, in the origin story of Miss America. All right, so there we go with the intro there. And now let's get over and get ready to start doing some reading. Ready to do some voices there, Rick?
I guess so.
I guess so.
I guess so, yeah. Voices. Boy, we need to do the voices. Because we need to do the voices.
Aye, laddie. All right, so first off, we're going to read, of course, Doll Man.
That should just be a doll.
Mm-hmm.
Reynolds of the Mounted.
And again, friendly reminder to everybody, if you haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we will try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. So let's get going with the reading here. So Feature Comics featuring Lollapalooza. Number 35, 10 cents. Lola, go back up. I forgot to put water in the pool. Also starring The Doll Man. Do do do. Ranch King. Do 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 do. Captain Fortune. Do do do. Do 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 do. Spin Shaw. Do do. Do 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 do. And also featuring Samar, Mickey Finn, Zero the Ghost Detective, Reynolds of the Mounted, Rusty Ryan, Poison Ivy, Big Top.
That ain't like no Poison Ivy we ever seen before.
All right.
I think it might like the newer one.
All right. So with that being said, let's see. Let's finish this here. Do you like fast-moving action picture stories with plenty of action, mystery, and thrills? If so, watch for the September issue of Feature Comics. America's outstanding comic magazine offers you the greatest value for your dime with a parade of features headed by the Doll Man. Reserve your copy of the September issue of Feature Comics now on sale July 24th. The Doll Man by William Irwin Marshall. Look at that Doll Man chasing, I guess looks like maybe a penguin, maybe?
Yeah, looks like a penguin to me. Guess we're going down to Antarctica.
Maybe. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Oh, and tricky panels again.
Yeah, well, I think this is top, down, and then just over.
Yeah. Daryl Dane and Dr. Roberts take a spin through the city park. You want to do Dr. Roberts? I'll do Daryl Dane.
Funny thing, Daryl. I've a hunch we've got company at home.
Crystal Gazer, Doctor? As they turn into the driveway, they are greeted by wild yells. You were right. Look, look who's here.
Because these are all new guys, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Oh no! I think
these
the top hat guys new. I think the other two are the guys from the car.
Yeah.
First one.
Well, why don't you can be the top hat guy there?
Okay. Hey, big surprise! Hey, Mr. Dean.
Wampum, you old Injun.
Old fella. Oh no, that's this guy with the cowboy hat. Old fella.
No, actually, I see the tail. The tail's actually right above Dr.
Yeah,
Roberts.
it looks like it's above the professor. I agree, but with him saying, "Old fella, you're set for sore eyes," I guess it could be him or it could be the other guy referring to the professor. I'm not sure.
Well, they both look like they're old fellas, so I think it could
be
one. So why don't you just take that and just go with whatever you think?
Right now, I'm thinking it's the guy with the cowboy hat. So, old fella, you're set for sore eyes.
All right. What brings you here in that magnificent topper?
Ooh, wampum! Hey, for a big powwow. Here for a big powwow. Wampum, heap big oil. Mag steak. Me find them black oil. Well, my land plenty greenbacks. Stuff 'em pockets. He's right. It's our land.
Hmm.
Well, I think that's mainly
So
plenty to see in the big city, boys.
don't go too far.
Me show 'em big city to a wampum, an old fella. Hey, look 'em, tunnel. Come on. What's that roaring sound? Buried thunder. Sure make it hard to get head around here. Ooh. Hey, Womp. Hey, Womp. I figure. Hey, Womp. I figure we're gonna plumb down to. Let's scrum 'em quick. He stump and get off now, quick.
Down at Battery Park.
Wow, I thought we was goners for sure. Heap big water out there. Heap big canoe. Womp, do you see an oasis up there? Wampum whistle plenty dry.
Inside the waterfront bar. Hey, boys, pipe the natives. Let's go to work on them. I just figured I'd do both of those since you've been doing.
Yeah. What? Yup. Be heap rich from oil. Buy 'em long car, big ranch. Get 'em squall. Plenty. Padosos. Padosos?
That'll be swell.
Come on in here, Chief. We got some valuable stuff. No, I think that's your.
I think that might have been me because I think it might have been one of the because the way that thing was put together there.
Yeah. So
Come on in here. Come on in here, Chief. We got some valuable stuff you might like to buy. But instead, just the Indian, Briny. Later, at Robert's laboratory, the phone rings. Wonder if those two got into trouble. What? They got wampum? Stay there, old fella. I'll be right down. That redskin can talk his way into more jams. At top speed, he cuts through heavy city traffic. Look at that. He's driving so fast, he's doing a side wheelie there.
yeah.
Going on two wheels there when it's a car supposed to be on four wheels.
Boy, must have come in a prairie tornado.
Well, I think that one's not wampum. That one's the guy with the.
Yeah, that's the guy with the cowboy hat, I think.
Yeah.
Which I was doing.
Yeah. But you sounded more like wampum there.
Oh. boy, must have come in a prairie tornado.
Show me where the fight took place. Go back and tell Roberts to charter an amphibian at the airport. Quietly, Dane slips into the saloon and a moment later transforms himself into the Doll Man. Hello, Jim. Who do you want to see? With a gigantic leap, he lands on the shelf behind the bartender. Now, maybe I'll learn something. Yeah, Briny. what was here, him and Sloop Shanghai, a crazy Indian that come in here. Yeah. What boat did they take him on? Oh. Oh. Yeah, what boat did they take him on? Why the black girl? Hey, who said that? Oh, hey, you said that.
Who said that?
And where is the black girl sailing to? Up to Greenland. Hey, let me out. This place is haunted. No, it's not. You never met a ghost that packed a punch, did you? So
I don't
we
think he's
have to
ever met
go.
a ghost. Forget one that packed a punch or not packed a punch.
So we have to go Indian hunting in Greenland. That's a new one. As soon as the doll man reaches the airport, the speedy amphibian cuts a fast spray, taking off down the river. It zooms up and gracefully climbs above the clouds. Later, in northern waters, here's the black gull. She's a wicked looking tub, all right. I'll borrow your handkerchief, doctor, if you don't mind.
Careful, Daryl.
The handkerchief unfurls in the high wind as Dollman parachutes. Now that's something you don't see every day, right? Using a
Yeah.
handkerchief as a parachute.
Yeah, well, most characters are not small enough to use a handkerchief as a parachute.
Right.
And they,
Small
even
enough
if
to
they
use
had,
it.
even if they had something big enough to use, I think you'd have to be pretty strong to hold it into the middle where you're floating. It'd be very easy to let go and then
Slip out, yeah.
will not slip out because unless you harness yourself into it, most people would just probably bunch the corners to the middle and hold. I would think, anyways.
Meanwhile, the whaler, Black Gull, plows through the slapping salty waves in search of the giant sea mammals. Suddenly, "Well ho! Hands to starboard! Board the launch!" Poor Wampum runs into difficulty. "Get a move on, you boiled lobster. Hop to it." No, hold on. Maybe I'd better give him a helping foot, Captain. Stop shivering, you redskin. You're rocking in the boat. The launch cautiously nears the mammoth whale. An exploding harpoon is shot into the ribbed hide of the huge monster. Modern methods are brought into action. Machine gun bullets spray the whale's side, but only serve to infuriate him. Suddenly, a strange pair nears the churning beast. The doll man leaves his steed and dives into the chilly waters. Thanks for the ride, pal. Uh-oh. There goes my Indian. Wampum is almost engulfed. When the doll man sweeps the mighty jaws apart with a swift bullet-like blow. He drags the Indian below the whale's huge belly, and there, uh, beneath the waves, subdue the savage mammal. Excuse me a moment here. Take care of something real quick. All right, with that. Anyways, back to the waterlogged wampum is pulled to dry land on the monster's back. Oopsie daisy.
Me seeing things a little, heap little living man.
Yep, I'm the doll man, Womp. Womp, your pal. The whale enters a sheltered cove.
Look at more whales.
Must be a stamping ground. As they clamber up the rocks, Wampum suddenly sights the black gull.
Ship of evil men headed this way.
The black gull drops anchor by the towering cliff, and its shore boat puts out. Heavily laden with machine guns and cases of dynamite, the men land on a jilting headrock. We'll close the entrance of the cove. Oh boy, so our friends are going to use illegal whaling methods. Nice boys.
Bad fellas.
Come on, Wampum. They're not going to get away with this wholesale slaughter. Bam!
Me fix 'em.
Trapped, the whales are helpless against the merciless peppering of stinging bullets. Right. Boy, what a catch! What? But what? Hey, what's that? 1, 2,
Go get them, doll man.
3, 4, 5.
Buckle my shoe.
What was that, Rick?
Oh, you said with the 1, 2, 3, 4. I jokingly said, buckle my shoe.
Huh. This is something I can't fight. Going back to the ship.
Ooh. Whoop 'em, get you.
Good work, boy. No, you don't, Captain. While back in the crow's nest on the gull. Hey, what's got into those guys? They're jumping around like zanies. They're getting away. Swiftly, the frightened crew rows back to the ship. The order to set sail is straight away obeyed. The Black Gull turns southward. He won't get very far this trip. The Doll Man speeds to the blocked harbor. The whales will get their own revenge. Tossing the heavy boulders out to sea, the Doll Man quickly clears a passage. And the angry whales surge to the attack. The Black Gull meets a crushing doom as monster after monster collides with its wooden hull. That's got to cause the boat to be rocking a bit, huh?
Yeah.
When the excitement dies down, an amazing procession emerges from the wreckage.
Warmer now. Warmer now.
At last, they reach Dr. Robert's amphibian.
Ahoy there! Circus come to town.
Prisoners and passengers safely aboard the motors are warmed up, and the plane leaves the freezing waters for warmer climes.
Illegal whaling, eh? Guess we'll turn them over to the proper authorities.
That's right, as soon as we land.
Well, sir.
Go ahead.
Well, sir. Sure am grateful to you for bringing my engine pal back safe and sound.
By the way, where is our rusty friend? Wampum, what are you up to?
Me get 'em used to hot weather. Slow me thaw out.
Well, I'll be. Well, you better warm up soon, Chief. Shivering Boots. You and I are headed for some excitement. Follow the sensational exploits of the Doll Man in the September issue of Future Comics. All right, so Rick, overall impressions.
Well, I think this story had some quality to it.
Straight ahead quality. You're just gonna use the quality pun all night, aren't you?
I might. It was definitely good,
in that direction, my friend.
Yeah. It was definitely good. For the most part, maybe a little tad too much narration boxes, but overall the story seemed to flow fairly good, and made sense and all that. No really big leaps in logic, other than the normal superhero type stuff, the normal tropes and all that, nothing beyond the normal stuff. So I'd say, yeah, pretty good story. Fighting some pirates or whatever. Pirates or I'm not sure what I'd call them, but kidnappers.
All right. So any thing more you want to add before we move on?
Not that I can think of at this time.
All right. So I guess we'll get ready then and head on over to Crack Comics number 4.
Will they be able? Are they going to crack the quality?
Rick and his puns, everybody. Rick is a punny guy.
And it wouldn't be me if I didn't pun.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding with you, my friend.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, and you notice a little wordplay there I did? Punny guy?
Yeah.
All right, so let's get ready to move on to the next selection here. And we will, of course, take a look at on Black Condor and on the clock. Oh wait, that's right. Actually, I forgot they didn't have the right scan of this one. We'll have to go to the other site to
Stand. Crack. Black Condor, I remember. I know. I've heard of him. DC. Yeah, DC got this company, and they've had a couple people do Black Condor. Hey, Fitzchozo. We have Fitzchozo in the chat.
All right, just give me a sec to get all this cleared up here. And I totally forgot that they did not have the right scan for number 4. They had the number 14 scan, not the number 4 scan. So. PQ.
And Fitzchozo, like I said, Fitzchozo Series Design. That, of course, is on YouTube, not Rumble.
All right, so with that, all right, here we go. Here's number 4. All right, should have realized earlier, but that's on me. Let's see now.
No problem.
Hey there, Fitzchozo.
All
right, so let's take a quick peek. All right, and a friendly reminder, of course, to both of our YouTube and our Rumble viewers. If you guys haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. So, with that, we're gonna, as we get into crack comics here, we're gonna look at the Black Condor and clock features here. Oh, do. Crack Comics number 4, August 10 cents. Starring the Black Condor. And featuring the clock. Jane Arden. Alias the Spider. Ned Brandt.
You gotta love that. His subtitle is just "The Man That Can Fly." Oh, well, this one, there's a lot of men that can fly in comics. For Black Condor, the man that can fly. Fitzchozo says, I am working on a mod for New Vegas. Oh, cool. A villain called the Clock? No, this Clock is a hero. And he'll clean your clock.
I'm working on a
New Vegas. That is that a video game, and is that for Fallout New Vegas or some other game that shows up?
All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get going here.
Yeah, he says Fallout New Vegas. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I just had to think of the Fallout first.
National Comics, Penn Miller, Sally O'Neill, Merlin the Magician, Cyclone, Kid Patrol, Prop Powers, Paul Bunyan. These are all the features from National Comics, which recently started up. Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy. Wonder, wonder, wonder.
The Black Condor by Kenneth Lewis.
I think we have the narration box first, caption box.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Into a strange barren land where the heavy mantle of despair has fallen on a wretched people, wanders an aged traveler. Brothers, what scourge is upon your land, that trees no longer bear leaves, and the ground lies parched and fallow? Strange, they ran from me. In terror, I'll ask these children, they may not be so broken. You want to be the kids?
Okay. It comes from the top of Mount Doom and burns the fields. Mount Doom. We know that from another series.
But what is it?
We don't know.
The old man finds lodging for the night. But later, a wig, a beard, and a staff are left behind, while the black condor soars away into the night. Above the darkened village looms the foreboding crag called Mount Doom. In a palatial building at the summit, the evil Sinn Fang lays his plan for a reign of terror. You want to be Sinn Fang right there?
Yes, Dr. Degav. Your inventive genius will be rewarded. Already the weaklings of the valley groan beneath my heel. Soon the world. Our fortress is absolutely uncomfortable. It can only be reached through the shaft, which is heavily guarded.
But for the black condor, no height is unsurmountable. He swoops down on the fantastic domain of Sinn Fang and drops like a falling spear upon a guard. That's got to be something to be looking at. You're just doing your duty. You're just on guard, and all of a sudden, here comes a body flying at your head.
Yeah, it would be sort of like Batman coming at you.
With a smashing blow, he fells a startled fellow. What's that? Marching feet? A troop of Sinn Fang's private squad steams down the parapet. And when they pass, another is added to their number. Now I'll find out what's happening here.
Fitzgerald, what's your mod supposed to do? for New Vegas.
Anyways, as we continue on, as actually, I guess he does have something he did. Basically, a whole new game, a Fallout fanfic. I am working on building the Chithulan
Desert.
desert.
Okay. So an area mod for you to play in. Cool.
All right, continuing on here. Oh, yeah, that's right. Had to come back.
Yeah. Next page.
Yep. As the procession turns a sharp corner, the black condor drops back and slips into a doorway. He enters a vast laboratory. Huge dynamos roar and hiss like angry demons. Man's genius warped to create destructive monsters. Suddenly, go ahead, Rick.
Fitzgerald says the Chichilian Desert, if you don't know, is in real life West Texas. Oh, okay, cool. I did not know that, but I guess I do now.
Nor did I. Anyways, as we get back to so he enters a vast. Okay, yeah, where we already sit. So suddenly, a low, soft voice commands the black condor. If our ray generators do not please you, then step away from them at once. Who are you? Right now, I'm the prisoner of a very lovely captor, but suddenly, how strong you are, but how foolish! You cannot possibly escape from here. Well, I shall try. Watch.
He could have also said, "Yeah, and it was impossible to get up here, and I'm here."
Mm-hmm. Just then, Shin and DeGraff enter. Hurry, father. He's cut his way out. He'll escape.
Order the mountainside fired.
No living thing can survive the blazing flood of deadly rays that bathe Mount Doom. After several thunderous moments,
Ceasefire. I, Shin Fang, command.
I trust he didn't escape. We can permit no interference with our plan of defense.
Have no fear. No man can survive such a barrage. He is dead, my friend.
When day breaks, there is no sign of the black condor on the rugged cliffs of Mount Doom. While in the meeting hall of the terrorized valley people, there is a spirited discussion. It is useless to oppose Sinn Fein. We must submit to his oppression. But suddenly, the gaunt figure of the aged wanderer appears. No, good brethren, never bow to the tyrant. There is a way to break him. Fight for your liberty.
Oh, but we have no arms.
We are starving.
You're a stranger here, a false prophet.
No, no. Silently, a spy creeps up behind the aged speaker. But with uncanny speed, the old man turns and, not yet, I haven't finished here. The spy's gun melts. Wow. He'll bring the wrath of Fang upon us. Catch him! Hurry! Get him! He's gone! Yeah. Now for their leader.
So you took the liberty to shoot the old man? Not very wise.
But sire, what will you do? But Shin, what will you do? Shin's answer is a fatal shot from behind. That night, dark figures move stealthily to the mayor's house.
The mayor and his son will take them both.
A struggle is quickly subdued. Minutes later, their limp bodies are carried toward the mountain. Suddenly, the sleeping town is waxed by the startling news. Mayor and son stolen from their beds. Soon, from the village sweeps the mysterious figure of a man in flight. On to Mount Doom he soars. Sinn Fein does not expect this visitor. Gliding through an open window, he skims over the guards. His lashing fist makes short work of them. Bones crunch as the condor smashes his fist through armor. The condor hurls blows from every direction. Vassals of ruthless despot, this should wake you from your stupidity. From the far end of the hall, a gun is aimed at the flying figure, but
Look at that face. That guy is one ugly mug.
well, one of the angles they had on Sinn Fein earlier made me think he might have looked more like a gorilla or something than a human being.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just saying this guy's mug is really ugly.
Not something you'd want to see in a dark alley, right?
He's got a mug only a mom could love.
Yeah.
Maybe a dad.
Low bridge. And that breaks these puppet strings. A double lock just to make sure no one goes in to wake them up. Meanwhile, in a dimly lit chamber filled with diabolical instruments of torture, the mayor's concern is touching, but don't hurt my son. I'll do anything, anything. The mayor's concern is touching, but to no avail.
I think that's the second in command or whatever that you read earlier when it was the boss guy.
You and your son will soon be willing slaves.
Just a few more drops of this shining liquid end. I never noticed that rat on his helmet before.
But at that moment, Flying Fury enters the room and crashes with great force upon the grim torturers. He knocks de Graaf against the stocks. The mayor's fingers curl around his throat in a death-like grip. But Sinn Fein escapes, and hastily jamming the heavy dupe locks
Sure.
and bolts. Well, it's dupe, but I don't jamming the heavy dupe.
Door.
Oh, door. Okay, door. Yeah, they just didn't have. All right, faintly. Anyway, heavy door locks and bolts it. But he has forgotten his daughter.
I'm not sure whether it's forgotten or just doesn't care.
Father, let me out.
Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
In a blind rage, Shin dashes to the arsenal.
Now they're all trapped. They'll all die.
In the torture room, the death rays crisscross in a rain of fatal fire. Swiftly, the Condor whips out his black ray gun. Yeah, it's kind of funny. He has a black ray gun. Then you have, later we'll be introduced to a hero called Neon the Unknown, who uses neon light energy that shoots out of his fingers. And then I think Phantom Lady also has a black ray gun as well.
Yeah.
Another quality.
Well, the Black Condor has a black ray gun. It's a ray gun that's black. Ooh.
Leaving the mayor seared to death, he carries the unconscious girl to safety. I'm afraid Fang's daughter is seriously wounded. Well, her father shall pay dearly for this. Crashing through the door of the arsenal, he comes face to face with Shin's lightning ray.
Black ray gun versus the lightning ray.
Oh wow, they kind of screwed this up. I think Sinn Fein's actually supposed to say that, but they got the tail towards But they got the
Well,
tail there towards Black Condor. I think that's Black Condor right there.
yeah, he's saying. I think they are meaning for him to say it with what it says there.
Well, I
Although
see.
you would think it would be the other
I
guy.
think thing's supposed to say it, even though they got the tail linking it to Black Condor. But it should be Sinn Feng who I think is saying that. I think they screwed up there.
Yeah, possibly. Welcome, welcome. Flight will not help you now, my friend.
Let's see. But Sinn Feng does not see his wounded daughter drag painfully across the floor until
Don't pull that switch. You'll blow us all to bits.
you shall die. All die with me.
She pulled it. There's only a few seconds to escape.
You can spend those seconds at rest, Sinn Feng, but you won't escape. Leaving the dying girl and Feng unconscious, the condor, seizing the mayor's son, swooped aloft.
I guess he can only save one, so.
Well, I think they already said the mayor was dead.
Yeah, no, I'm just mean. He's leaving Finchong. He's leaving the daughter. You know, you know, he can only save one person because he can only probably carry one person, right?
But
You
I
know,
think he could have probably carried two. I think he could have saved the daughter, but I think she was just too far gone now.
yeah, but in her condition, it might not have been good for him to
I
roughhouse her, for lack of a better term. You
hmm.
know, it wouldn't have been a smooth flight, we'll say.
In another moment, a thunderous explosion spells the end of Fang's reign on Mount Doom. The next day, joyful citizens gather in the square to elect the mayor's son to fill his late father's post. And a lone traveler departs from a valley freed from the despot's clutch. The wanderer, seeing a gawky scarecrow, divests himself of his robe. You can use this, old man. And wide-eyed villagers stare in amazement at the strange figure soaring above the clouds. Let's see. More daring deeds of the Black Condor in the September issue of Crack Comic. All right, so Rick, overall impressions of this story.
It's definitely got some good quality to it. Pun, of course, intended. Um, since I wasn't here for the first Black Condor story, it'd be nice to know if he's on Earth because in some ways this seems like a fantasy realm.
It is on Earth. Basically, to just kind of catch
And
up on the Black Condor a bit real quick here before you finish your thoughts there. Black Condor was um, initially he was the son of an archaeologist. The archaeologist and his wife took him on their dig. They were attacked by bandits. His parents were killed. He was raised by condors. Therefore, partly why he became Black Condor. He actually learned to fly by being raised by condors.
okay,
So, Anyways, continue on.
Yeah, just because this doesn't really seem like anywhere on Earth. That's why I was wondering. So
Oh,
I
it takes
guess.
place on Earth. I'll tell you that much right now. I'll
Oh
even.
yeah, yeah. I believe you when you said it earlier, but I'm just saying in reading the story because I hadn't uh, seen it from the beginning. That's why I was wondering because it seemed more mysterious, more fantasy elements to it. Um, but yeah, overall, a pretty good story. Did did a good job, I think, of telling the story. And like I said, flowed. Um, if we had two stories to pick between for which one is the best and which one's the worst, I'd have a hard time tonight. But we've got a couple more
Well, yeah,
stories.
we got a few more to get through, but well, I'll give you a little spoiler here on the Black Condor story. So his first few adventures take because he was raised in the Himalayas. He was raised
Okay.
like in the Himalayan mountains in like the Eurasian region of the world. Okay,
Yeah.
um, he would eventually make his way to America and would actually adopt the identity of a sitting at the time a United States sitting senator who was killed in when he first met with when he first crossed paths with you know basically um, Black Condor would meet up with a dying senator and then eventually take over that senator's identity. So something to kind of look forward to as we go down. Well, I'm gonna advance this to the next story, but then I gotta go off camera again real quick. So, but I'll get the next story set up, and then if you can, basically carry on with the crowd until I get back, that'd be appreciated.
Yeah.
Of course, what we're trying to do is get to the clock story, as it were.
Well, how is everybody doing? Are you liking the stories thus far? Oh, you're still here.
Yeah. Well, you can still talk because still trying to. It's just that there were some pages missing there apparently. So
Yeah, I was just gonna say us. Then
there
what
we go.
they're thinking of the stories thus far, and that's something we should do at the end of the night too. For anybody that's here, not that we could have or could not. Which story they like the most in the audience, and which story they like the least as well.
Well, I guess we could find that out if people would respond to that. Yeah, I would probably have normally done that, but most of the time, most people we get more lurking than anything else, so nobody's really as active. It shows us the
Yeah,
most active person we usually have. Sometimes Metal when he comes in, and you when you come in, you guys are active, but
yeah,
Anyway, I'll be right back.
yeah, for sure. It's time to click the clock of the clock. Okay, so Fitzchozo is still here. Well, you probably only heard the one story of Fitzchozo. What do you think of the Black Condor story? Did you like it? If you didn't, why not? Or if you did, why? I'm not really that engaging. Okay.
All right, I'm back.
He's back. Ah,
Let me just check a couple things here real
it's
quick.
on with the show. This is it.
Alrighty then, so let's get on to the next story here. The Clock by George E. Brenner. Brian O'Brien, who plays the role of the Clock and is hard-fisted, hard-fighting assistant Pug Bradley, pledge their lives to fight as one against all that is unjust and evil. Once again, terror strikes into the hearts of humans, terror brought forth by the greed of a wanton killer, the Asp. And when the police fail, the Clock steps in and to match wits with the genius of death. A steeple clock is at the 3/4 hour. In 15 short minutes, the same clock will strike out midnight, and as the sound dies, so will a man murder will have been done. In the home of Peter Payne, a wealthy jewel collector. All right, Mr. Payne. The room is ready. When that door closes behind you, nothing can happen to you. You want to be Mr. Payne right there, Rick?
Are you sure I'll be safe, officer?
The walls, floor, and ceiling of that room have been covered inside and out with 1-inch steel plate. Nothing can penetrate them. Let go. It's nearly midnight. Go on in, Mr. Payne, and relax. There's men stationed inside and out with orders to shoot to kill. All right, boys, stand guard. Here's one job the Asp won't pull, Joe. No. Oh, go ahead.
No. Hey, it's midnight.
Bong, 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 bong. I think the top one's you.
No, it's the guy that was. Oh yeah. Oh God.
Jar, open it quickly. Open it quick. Payne. Oh,
Go ahead.
Oh, no. Actually, yeah, I think that is you. I'm sorry.
Payne, he's dead.
I tell you, Cap, I saw no one. You can be the captain there.
The other men swear. The other men swear. the same, and yet he was killed.
The new the news is flashed by radio to all parts of the country. Peter Payne died at midnight, a victim of the ass. The death is a mystery. At the same time, in the home of Ryan O'Ryan. However, the famous Black Pearl, the ass was after, is still safe.
So
You
the
want to be Pug right? That's Pug right down the left, and then
okay. So that's not the detective I just did. So okay. What is a mystery, boss? According to the radio, no one could get within a mile of Payne, and yet he was murdered.
yes, yes, Pug, and we're going out there now. Meanwhile, back in Payne's home, a shadowy figure steals across a library floor to the wall safe. The asp. You want to be the asp right there?
While the police tried to figure out how Payne died, I will get the pearl. The fools. Ah, a beauty.
I think that's hiss, like a snake's hiss.
Yeah, well, there was no eye there, so I wasn't sure.
As the asp leaves by the rear, the clock and Pug quietly approach from the side. Pug, it's important that I get a specimen of Payne's blood.
But why?
And of course, as we like to call him here at Mikestand, Rick, you know what we call the clock at times?
Captain Napkin Face?
Correct. Captain Napkin Face, our little pet name for the clock. It's actually something that Batgoat originated, actually. Um, I think that's how he died. While you're doing that, I'll try to get the pearl. We'll meet back at the apartment. Good luck. Pug quietly makes his way to where Payne is laid out.
Oh, what's that? I know. I know. Now I know how Dracula felt.
At the same time, the clock's pencil flash picks out the wall safe. Ah, empty. Hello. What's this? Hmm. Won't the police be surprised when they find that? Uh oh, they're coming. That means I'm going. The next evening, Payne Pearl falsely reported safe. Police claim gem was in safe after collector died. Returning, they found it gone, and in its place the card of the S was found. Police baffled. Payne's death still a mystery. At the same time, in the clock's apartment, Ugh, I got it.
What? Got what, boss?
How Payne was killed. If we could examine Payne's body, we'd find what would resemble a pinprick. Sometime in the space of 24 hours before he died, Payne was injected with this poison.
How could that be done?
Probably the asp crept up on him when he was asleep, injected the poison, and left.
Wouldn't he die immediately?
No, the compounds of this particular poison can be combined in different ratios so that the death of a person can be set for any time after the injection. Simple, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
Slow acting.
that's kind of an interesting scientific theory there. Yeah, just
Yeah.
mix a bunch of chemicals together in a certain way, and you can predict when a person dies. That's kind of
Well, yeah. Yes and no. It's just a slow acting poison, right? We know about those things today, and I'm sure they might have known. I'm not sure whether I would have thought they would have known about that stuff back then, because that's all it is. You know approximately how long it takes to enact. So you do that pinprick, and there you have it. You do it 12 hours before. If it's will takes 12 hours to work. So it's a slow acting poison.
yeah.
I'm surprised this pug guy would know something like that,
Hmm.
because that's really all it is about: slow acting poison and pricking the guy about in the right time.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the first guy there, I think, is Pug.
Yeah, pug. Oh yeah, very. Oh yeah, very. But it still doesn't bring us anywhere near the asp.
True, but we can bait a trap for him
How?
by using the underworld grapevine. In quotes. We'll spread the story that the pearl the Ash got was an imitation. That Payne, just before his death, sold the real pearl, to Quincy Jonas, a Midwestern collector who is now staying at the Melton Hotel.
I get it. That way, the asp will get the news that he was fooled and go after Jonas, who.
Will be none other than the clock. Get going. You know the best places to start. The room is from. And the news that the asp was duped travels like wildfire. That what that hoid the boils worthless.
Yeah, he grabbed a phony.
Imagine the asp falling for a fake. What?
Sure, Payne sold it to a guy named Jonas at the mountain. And I think it was him. Was
Yeah,
that yeah.
you are the asp.
Me? The asp? Fooled? I'll show him. Go see the Jonas. See this Jonas right now. When I get the real one, I'll make him eat this hunk of paste. Fool. The asp, eh? Yes.
As the asp speeds toward the mountain hotel, at the same time the clock and Pug prepare to meet the asp. Pug, I want you to wait downstairs.
You mean I ain't in on the fun?
Ain't in on the fun. It's not that, but if he has anyone with him, I want them followed. We've got to wipe this guy out completely.
Ooh.
Now yes, it could possibly mean it means like wipe out as in to eliminate or to murder or to kill or whatever. But it also just simply could mean like wipe him out of business too. So
Yeah.
now granted, because of the times that these were written in, it's probably more the former as opposed to the latter, but I guess we will just wait and see.
Yeah.
When he arrives, I'll signal you from the window by waving my arm. And from the shadows of the old house, Pug waits, but doesn't see the lone figure of the asp slip into the trade entrance.
Hello, Jonas. I've come for the real pearl.
Eh, ooh. He took me by surprise. My chances for signaling Pug are out.
Stop stalling. Where is it?
Here. And the clock dives under the spinning gun. Bang! Bang! A wild right catches the clock on the chin. Wham! Crack! His head strikes the door jamb, knocking him cold.
Now I gotta take time out to look for the real pearl.
15 minutes later.
I looked all over the place and I can't find it. But that guy won't live to see it again either.
And the asp fires directly into the clock's body. Bang!
Now to get out of here.
The escaping asp is seen by Pug.
Say, that guy looks suspicious. I'll follow him.
Grabbing a can of white paint, Pug jumps on the back of the starting car.
That this paint should leave a trail for anyone could follow.
At the same time, back in the hotel, oof, it's a good thing I had on this bulletproof vest. I'll go down and see if Pug is still there. He's not around, so he must have. What's this? Paint. Fresh paint. That looks like Pug's work. I'll follow it. Meanwhile, Pug trails the asp into his lair.
Now to surprise him. Surprise who? The asp? Yes, drop that gun. What did you do to the Jonas? To Jonas.
To Jonas, not to the Jonas.
What did you do to the and then to Jonas? What did you do to the?
Okay, I see that now. Yeah, because he was
about to say
that he was the clock. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was about to say the clock, and then he catches himself and says, "No, to Jonas. What did you do to the to Jonas? Kill him, like I'm gonna do to you."
Suddenly, the clock appears, calling out to draw the asp's attention from an unarmed Pug. Strike 12, asp.
The clock.
Two guns roar, the clocks a split second before that of the asp. Bang! Bang! That's the end of his reign of terror, Pug.
Yes, and it was nearly my end, too. Look, on the floor. The pearl.
Good now. I'll phone the police. That's what I said, Captain. You'll find the asp and the pearl at the address. Oh yes, this is the clock. Bidding you good night. Another exciting episode of The Clock in the September issue of Crack Comics. All right, so
We are 35 minutes after the hour.
Yeah, so I think I will then just skip right to the
This
Magna
weekend?
story. We'll skip Invisible Hood and Espionage tonight. We'll just skip right to the Magno story when we get over to Smash. But of course, before we do that, and then we'll start to wrap things up with this date. Well, with our usual end spiel. But before we move on to the next story, overall impressions of this story, Rick.
Well, I'd say very good quality. These are all tonight. It seems top quality stories. It's going to make it hard to choose. Yes, it's definitely going to make it hard to choose which one's the best quality and which one's the worst quality.
Well, we'll do one more. We've done 3 stories, so we'll do one more, and then we'll start to wrap things up.
Yeah, you got to do Magno just
story.
because you introduced him at the beginning of the night.
Yeah, but still, I think we still are making good time here, nonetheless.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, as we get closer to today and get closer out of the these uh, what are they called, the multiple stories in one thing.
The anthologies.
Yeah, as we get closer out of the anthologies, each anthology story gets bigger and bigger. Thus you end up with
actually, what's gonna more or less happen? I'll tell you this, just from the time when I was doing this with just and I'm
DC.
pretty sure this is how it works in the other companies too. Basically, so right now on average, most of the books that focus more on superheroes and stuff like that, or adventure stories, they're about on average about 8 features per book, right?
Yeah.
The ones that are more like reprints or focusing on like humor stories, they're still right around maybe 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Okay,
and that's what I mean.
As time goes on, so right now books are like about 68 pages here. Okay, then they're going to go down to 48, and then eventually to 32. Okay,
Yeah.
and as that time goes on, you're going to go down from anywhere from 8 to 12 stories to to maybe 6 to 8 stories, and then eventually down to only 2 or 3 stories per book.
Yeah, at most.
And eventually
usually one or two, probably one.
Yeah, one or two. Because by time where we're at now, in the time that we're in now, all books, all comics are feature comics. There are no real regular anthologies anymore. Even though many of the books that we know of, like action comics, like detective comics, they started out as anthologies, but now they're more or less feature books because they usually only feature one character, maybe at most 2 stories, the main character and maybe either a member of the character's cast or maybe just another character altogether.
Yeah, well, wouldn't like DC have say Detective Comics would, it would definitely have a big Batman story, and then it'd probably have a whole bunch of other stories like Hawkman or something like that. You know,
Well, that at this time,
Hawkman, Adam. You
at
know,
the time we're talking about here back in like the early days. That's
yeah,
exact. I mean, at this time in June of 1940, Detective Comics had like 8 stories, and you had, of the 8, you had maybe like 3 or 4. Let's see, you had Batman was the lead feature.
yeah.
Slam Bradley was the main backup feature, and I think I can't think. I don't know of any other major.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, they wouldn't be necessarily
Commando.
major, but there would be other stories in it.
Yeah, but
So just because there's 5 or 6, 8 stories, that
like
still
Puerto
technically
Rican.
makes
Yeah.
an anthology. But it has regular features in it. The anthology.
All right. So let's get to the last
Yeah,
story here of the evening. Magno. Let me get this all the way back. So the first page here, and we'll go to Smash Comics number 13. We're just gonna skip to we'll just skip right to the Magno story. I think is only like 5 or 6 pages. I understand it. So that's the night, and we can kind of look at the artwork and stuff. One Clue, Chief Carter, Kidding the Kid, Invisible Justice, which is the feature name for the Invisible Hood story, Archie O'Toole, the Purple Trio, Clip Chance, Philpot Deep, Magno, there we go,
Magno, the Miracle Man.
by Paul Gustafson. Known to his fellow workers as plain Tom Dalton, a lineman, but secretly fighting all crime and evil is Magno, a fabulous figure. His amazing powers are the result of having been electrocuted by 10,000 DC volts, then being shocked back to life by an equal current of AC volts. So I'll let
Yeah,
you
not
go.
really sure that's how it works, but okay.
Well, again, and Metal and I talk
Comic,
a lot. Metal and I talk a lot about this too. You
yeah,
know,
comic
yeah,
disbelief.
comic book writers take a lot of liberties with scientific
Physics.
theory. Okay, we know that.
Yeah,
I mean, if you've listened enough to Metal and my discussions on the matter, you find for some interesting conversations there.
yeah, and we've had probably similar conversations too.
Yeah.
Metal probably delves into it a little differently than I do, but
All right.
it's similar.
Anyway, I'll let you be the guy not Tom there.
Fitz shows us it's not just the physics, all science. Yeah, but usually, physics is the main thing. Sometimes it's chemical and all that, but
Yeah.
so you want me to be the first guy?
Yeah.
Tom, I'll bet you'd rather be on the. Yeah. Tom, I'll bet you'd rather be on that swell superliner than monkeying with power cables.
Huh? Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Look at that boat. Ain't she a honey, Dalton? You ain't listening. I never saw a guy dream so much.
But now Dalton's piercing eyes are fixed sharply on the distant liner. What what's going on out on that boat. For Dalton's super eyes bring him within a few feet of the big ship. Uh-oh. I have a nervous impulse to get out there. Say, Mr. Harvey, can I stop work for a while? I don't feel so good.
Okay, Tom. Okay, Tom. But I'll never saw as bad as a weakling as you get to be.
A few moments later, Dalton has shed his drab clothes, and as the great Magno, he knights into the river, into the water. Facing the boat, Magno's arms shoot forward, his hands closes about the ends of coils on his arms, and creates a powerful electromagnet. And in a few seconds, he shoots the liner. Hand over hand, the climb is made to the deck above. A couple of hard-looking sailors. And you want to be the sailors right there?
Hurry, who's the guy in the fancy monkeys? What, let's say, toss him into the drink.
Come on, you guys, make a pass at me so I can fake a fall and get some kind of clue. Ah!
How'd you bounce, wise guy? Ooh, my hand feels like it had touched a live wire when I sucked him. Come on, dump him in the brig with the others. Get in there, and you others back away from the door.
Say, who are you, bud? And why are you tossed in here with us? I needn't say who I am, but now I know where you of the real crew are. So there, these imposters slapped you men in here, huh? And this doesn't look like a real brig either. It isn't. This is really a rubbish hold. As soon as they get out far enough to see, they'll drop the bottom down and we go into the sea. Sounds like old-fashioned piracy to me. That feed pipe might be a good exit, then. His fist close. The strong magnetic coils take effect, and Magno shoots up into the big pipe. Look at that! Kind of like Magneto at times, huh?
Yeah, but a little different because Magneto just would have floated up
Right.
through, or Magneto just would have ripped it off.
Yeah. But Magneto's still using magnetism to lift him and electricity to lift himself into the air. That was
Yeah,
what I'm
but
getting at with it. And his body tears out through the sealed mouth. These motors look as if they're the control points and those rubbish traps.
hey, get away from there.
The sailor fires at Magno, but has slugs spatter and fall when within a foot of the miracle man because of the repelling force around the body. I think I'll draw you here now, and I'll just make sure these crooks don't try to dump that crew in the rubbish traps. Goodbye, motors.
Yeah, Fitzgerald said, so we got a guy with magnetic powers as a superhero. I realize this may be the only hero with that power set. Well, I can't think of any offhand. I don't think he is the only one. I do believe there are others. Actually, isn't Polaris? I think her name's Polaris from the X Men with the green hair.
Polaris.
Doesn't she have?
Polaris, I think, is how you pronounce her name.
But doesn't she have magnetic powers? She claims to be the daughter of Magneto because of that.
Yeah, probably.
And I'm sure there are a few others. I just can't think of them offhand. Probably a lot less known characters.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, on with the.
Yeah. And soon Magno is back in the hold, and with his great crushing strength, he releases the real crew. There, that does it. Be careful, men. These cutthroat thugs, in control of the ship, are well armed. Soon, the freed men face the bogus officers and crew.
You guys come another foot, and we'll blast you. Radio chief, that something's went wrong.
Better hold that message so you can tell your crooked boss all that has happened. But the important part of the message has gone out over the sea to be picked up by a lurking submarine.
Chief, those fools on the boat muffed the job.
Then we must act at once.
Orders. Get the torpedo tubes number 4 ready. Stand by.
Go ahead, Rick.
Fire! There goes our hopes of ever possessing that ship for our government.
But Magno's superior eyes sight the oncoming torpedo. Looks like I must get wet in old man ocean again. It's a shame to spoil that sub's fun. Such good, clean fun, too. Terror grips those aboard the liner as the missile of death draws near.
Yo!
Come on, baby. This way, and take the deadly gleam out of your eye. Suddenly, the torpedo breaks from its course and turns sharply toward Magno. Look, it's going straight for him. Say, what is that guy? What's this? Magno is now astride the torpedo. And, Rick, do you know what the word astride means?
I'd say in this case on or going in the same direction as.
Astride means basically to saddle something, like when you're saddling a
Yeah,
horse. When you're on a horse,
yeah.
that's what it means to be astride. Now to head little Bertha back where she came from. Yippee! Ride 'em, cowboy! While in the sub,
No, it can't be. The torpedo is coming back at us. What?
so long, pal. Do your duty. This is where I get off. Ha! That's one torpedo that sub shouldn't have fired. As the U-boat goes down, Magno streaks for shore. And maybe my line boss could have told me a better way to do it. Next day.
Say, Tom, maybe what your frail health needs is a little excitement. Now, when I was a young man,
Maybe you've got something there, Mr. Harvey. Follow Magno in the September issue of Smash Comics on sale July 10th. So, with that being said, Rick, now that we got that story done, overall impressions.
pretty good. It's. I know what your next, in the next
Well,
couple minutes, you're.
let's wait. Let's wait. Hey, Bone, let's wait to get. Let's. I know. We're trying to
Yeah,
get through this, but let's still do everything in the right order there.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh
overall
no.
impressions of this story. Then we'll get
Yeah.
to
Well, I'm not gonna give my answer for what I was about to say, but I'm just saying another good story. It's got a lot of quality to it, which and all four stories had very good quality tonight. So with your next question, I'm not sure which one I'm actually going to pick because
you were
they
impressed,
were
you were impressed with the writing of all four stories.
yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, why don't we just jump right into the so of the four stories, which one did you either like the best or made the best impression, and why?
Hmm. Oh, okay. Well, as I just said, they were all really excellent, and I guess it just comes down to some nitpicking, and I don't even think I'm going to be going nitpicking here. It's just um I'm liking from the little bit. Like I said, all of them were great. I'm just liking the character of the Magna, so I'm going to say
Well,
that one.
let me ask a question one more time here to where see if that helps clear some things up. Okay. Which story did you either like the best or made the best impression, and your reasons why?
Yeah, well, that's sort of what I was going into. I was basically saying I'm going to pick the last story, Magno,
All right.
and it's just because um, I'm actually liking. I like the character. I'm not sure exactly what about the character I like. Um, he seemed like he could be interesting. Like as some may know or some may not know, probably most don't. Is I'd like to take some public domain characters and put them into World War I, and make them a team in my universe. And I'm really thinking of putting Magno on that team.
So Magno really impressed you then quite a bit.
Yeah,
There. All right. And with that being said, in contrast, which story did you either like the least or made the least impression, and why?
yeah, and I guess this might be where I get some nitpick. I'm not even sure. it's going to be hard to pick. So we had the Black Condor one, we had Doll Man, and what was the other one?
The other one was the clock.
The Clock. Yeah. And like I said, they were all good. They all flowed nicely. I'm just trying to think which one made the least impression.
Based on what I remember from your comments throughout, if I had to guess, I would say probably it was the Dollman story, because I do remember you said that you thought there was a little too much narration in that story as compared to the other stories.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I remember saying that. It seemed like there was a little bit too much narration, but it's a thing of its time too. There was, and I've used a lot of narration before too. So especially
Well,
in the first Canadian skill.
it isn't necessarily about overwhelmingly praising one story over another, overwhelmingly
Yeah.
bombing one story. It's just to get a general feel of like
Yeah.
what did you. The whole idea, again, this is where the kind of the comic book review comes into play here.
Yeah.
Because we're looking back on history and saying, okay, these are the books that people, adults and kids, were going out and buying and reading,
Yeah.
and and can we figure out why, let's say, some characters, like let's say the Quality characters, the DC characters, the Fawcett characters, why maybe let's say they lasted, while other characters, like characters, let's say from maybe Prize Comics or Ace magazines, why they didn't last, let's say.
Yeah. Well, we know Quality.
Based on what we're as we're looking back on it, can we figure that out? As
Yeah. Well, we do know Quality eventually goes under. I'm not sure when. You probably know offhand. Might know offhand.
I believe is when. Well, we if you remember, we even read that part when I went through the the introduction for Magno too.
Yeah. So, but with that, and then DC buys them and introduces them into their universe. So that's what kept some of the Quality characters alive. Otherwise, they would be dead to the world, if you will. But anyways, with that said, like you said, yeah, and like I said, it's coming down to a nitpick of just that a little bit too much narration for me. In this case, so I'm gonna say, yeah, with your reminding me of my saying that stuff, I'm gonna say Doll Man for the one that made the least impression. But again, it's like it's it's like that, it's just something to nitpick to make it just under the others, So because they were all, I think, for the most part, great stories tonight, and it's just because I have to pick one that it's getting picked.
But you see, well, here's the other thing. Here's why I ask it too, because it's a way to get you to really engage with the story, make you think about it, right?
Yeah,
that's a big part of it too. You can contribute. The more engaged you are mentally in something, right? The more you can contribute to the conversation.
For sure.
So,
and that's why, in some ways I go on this big explanation of, like, yeah, it's a great story, and this is just a nitpick, because I have to use something to say what is my least favorite of the stories when they're all practically equal. Or again, even nitpick just to have something just above.
When you have so many that are pretty close, in terms of likability, it is hard to really, like sometimes we have some sets of stories where it's obvious what the best one, what the worst one is. And other times when and you're not the only one that we've had. I've had times where with metal too, where there are times we've read like 4 or 5 stories, and it's kind of, and the differences are kind of like
Yeah, and
Instead of
sometimes
like
it's because
this, it's more like
yeah, a lot of times
you
it's just a minor dip, if not even a minor dip, and it's sometimes it's because they're all equally as good, and sometimes it's because they're all equally as bad.
know,
But it's better when they're all equally as good.
right. Yeah. Well, with that being said, of course, why don't we go? If you can stick around after the show, of course, for some post
Yeah.
or stuff, that'd be appreciated as well. Um, with that being said, of course, we're going to start to wrap things up. We're going to move on to this day or this weekend in Nietzsche history in this case. So today is, of course, Sunday, September the 28th, 2025. So let's go ahead, take a look back at this weekend in Nietzsche history. History! So, now look at all this. So, first up, going back 50 years ago yesterday.
Fitzjozo's taking off. He says, "Bye bye, everybody."
Bye there,
See you,
Fitzjozo. Thanks for
Fitzjozo.
dropping in. All right. So, with that, now heading back 50 years ago yesterday. 50 years ago yesterday. On yesterday's date, 50 years ago. The 50th issue of Dracula Lives from Marvel's UK branch, Marvel Comics International Limited, went on sale on this date back in 1975. It cover price was 8p, whatever p. I don't know if that's supposed to be pounds or what have you. 32 page count. You had, of course, stories including Dracula's Demons in the Dark, Werewolf by Night, Some Say the World Will Die, Living Mummy, A Choice of Lions, and One Hungers. So the 50th issue of Dracula Lives went on sale on this date back in 1975, or on yesterday's date back in 1975. Now, moving ahead to the year 2015, which was just 10 years ago today. 10 years ago on this date, 10 years ago today, here, particularly here in the States, Sunday, September 27th, 2015, 10 years ago today, the sixth season of Bob's Burgers begins on Fox with the premiere of Sliding Bob's. Season 27 of The Simpsons begins on Fox. The premiere of the episode Every Man's Dream. Guest starring the following actors of Adam Driver, Lena Dunham, Laura Ingraham of Fox News fame, Jamina Kirky, Zosia Malmet, and Allison Williams. And season 14 of Family Guy also premieres on Fox on this date with Pilling Them Softly. So there we go with that. That was 10 years ago yesterday. Now to move on to today's date. On today's date. Now, of course, we could do a couple of things. As you notice there on CBBC and over in Britain, the 2015 version of Danger Mouse premiered over there. But also in the world of anime, on this date back in 2015. This date in 2015. The feels Makora no Danshi completed its run on Japanese television on this date back in 2015. So 10 years ago today, Makora no Danshi, produced by Feel, completed its run on Japanese television. The series is a first-person story with each weekly episode featuring one of 12 different pillow boys who sleep beside the viewer. All right, so there we go. We go with that. And finally, as we move ahead to the year 2020. On this date in the year 2020, WWE held its Monday Night Raw event from the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. The main event saw Drew McIntyre retain the WWE Championship over Robert Roode, who had Dolph Ziggler in his corner. Also in a triple threat match for the WWE 24/7 title, R-Truth retained over Akira Tozawa and Drew Gulak. Kevin Owens defeated Aleister Black via DQ. Let's see. There were a few other 24/7 matches throughout the night as well. Okay, the show opened up with Asuka retaining the WWE Women's Championship over Zelina Vega. Akira Tozawa defeated R-Truth in the. Now, from what I understand, the 24/7 title took the gimmick of the Hardcore 7 24/7 role, basically where it's a title they just put out there and you defend. You're basically always defending it. You know, you could defend it whether it's at the arena or you could be in your hotel room. I remember when they did this with the Hardcore title. I remember Crash Holly. He defended the Hardcore title with this 24/7 rule in a ball box. You know, that you see sometimes at some of those kiddie places, like Chuck E. Cheese. That little room where there's all those balls you kind of swim in and all that.
Yeah, and Bone up emoji of peace.
So Akira Tozawa defeated R-Truth and Drew Gulak beat Akira Tozawa, and then R-Truth beat Drew Gulak, and then I guess they had a three-way match, towards the end of the show. So, all right. So with that being said, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. And of course, before we do sign off, as it were, I'm going to hand it off to my co-host, buddy Rick here. And I'm going to go ahead and give him a chance to, again, just re-promote or, again, promote any project he's doing, anything he wants to let everybody know. You know the shtick, don't you there, Rick?
Yeah, well, I just put the link to my Kickstarter for Canadian Shield 3 in the chat. You can get back issues on that campaign of issues 1 and 2, so don't worry about that. We have it in physical and digital in case the physical is a little bit too pricey for you. It only like $7 Canadian, so that's less for you guys in the States. That's like about $5 if you want to go and support the campaign. It would be really great to do so. So just go check that out, and hopefully you'll like it and back it. So thanks very much. And if you can't back it, just share it out. Maybe somebody can back it. I'm trying to get up to $200 on it. I've got about 30 days to do that. So, and I'm already at 72. And that's in Canadian dollars, not American dollars.
All right. Anything more you want to say before we sign off?
No, that's good.
All right. Well, with that being said, I thank everybody for being here tonight. We'll be back here with more niche news tomorrow night. Next Sunday, I believe I will have. I think it'll be Apex. Who'll be with me next Sunday, the 5th. I'll have to double check that. We'll be, of course, we're just like maybe about three more weeks before we're done with June of 1940. We'll be starting. Of course. Yeah, it is Apex next week because I just remembered because I have Metal coming up on the 19th. Um, so um, we'll be starting our coverage July 1940 on October 26th. So hopefully everybody will be looking forward to that. Of course, we'll be starting off with DC as we always do. So with that being said, I thank everybody for being here. And I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.